Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am stoked you are here. First thing I want to do is thank all my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. It means more to me than you know. And I want to invite any of you that might be coming by and haven't yet had a chance to hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification icon. It will really help me out and it'll notify you when I release new content. And if you guys are interested, I'm also over on Instagram, the same handle, Javon's underscore knife addict underscore life. If you're over there, give me a follow. I'll give you a follow back. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about my top five. It might be confusing because I put five knives that I've been handling lately, fixed blade EDCs, and this is going to be my top five EDC fixed blades currently in my collection that I'm carrying. There's going to be another video that I'm going to put out that's going to be my top five value, well under $100 EDC fixed blades, and that's going to come probably tomorrow. But for today, price is not an object here. These are just in my collection as of August 12th. These are my number 1 through 5 or 5 through 1. Starting with number 5, we have the Boker BFF. I know I've talked about this knife before. I know I've swooned over this knife before. Those feelings haven't changed. It is a very neutral knife in ABEL steel. It is made in Solingen, Germany by Boker, and it is what I consider a very minimalistic but well done knife. This knife has micarta handles and this copper pin construction with the pin lanyard loop, so you can put a lanyard on this knife. You've got this nice little ricotta that serves as a choil or a finger stop. It gives you a dedicated area to put your hand right there. You've got a nice sharpening choil. You've got a very sharp edge, but you don't have too thin of a grind. So this knife could actually do a little work if you needed it to do a little work. It would make a great boot knife, a great slip in your pocket knife. It's very slicey. Again, it's got a thicker grind than some of these other knives, but it's very capable of biting into material and biting into fingernails. But the Boker Barlow, I always get this one messed up. The Boker Barlow BFF is just a really refined knife. There's another Boker I'm looking at right now. It's kind of been out of my range, but it's one that I'm really interested in. The A1 by Boker. That's more of a sheep's footy Warncliffe. But I have been blown away by this knife. I watched it for a long time. Um, didn't grab it. Had read some things about the steel not being super hard, it being problematic to sharpen, the different things. But I also read great reviews about it. So I took a chance. I love the concealment method, the sheath, this kind of deep leather sheath with this pocket clip. So it's just a perfect pocket dropper. And I think it's a great EDC fixed blade package. So number 5 in our list today is going to be the Boker Barlow BFF. So moving on, we come to a newer knife in my collection, but one that has quickly become a favorite, and that is the Griffin Company / Combat Beads Scout. The Scout is a knife that's manufactured by Best Tech. It is a full tang, kind of a minimalist knife with a very ergonomical grip that locks your hand in. I've got some micarta scales coming for this, hopefully tomorrow, and I'll do a live scale swap. Um, I'm looking forward to that, even though these are carbon fiber and these are more desirable. I picked this NAF up at NAF sale. But anyway, S35VN, made by Best Tech, some of the best ergos in the game. a super, super slicey little knife. Whether you're using it, I'm just making little small cuts, biting into that paper. I saw that on somebody's video, I can't remember which, and then they showed the up close, because cutting through paper is allegedly not as good of a indicator on bite as just little, and I don't understand the difference of it, guys. I'm just wasting time because I like cutting shit. But anyway, the Griffin Co Scout. This knife I've enjoyed so much after seeing Stasa's review of it. Stasa23, if you're not following him, which I'm sure you are, go give him a follow. He does some of the best cut tests, some of the best knife reviews in the game. He's who I watched when I first started getting into knives. But there's also a Scout F3. I think, thank God, it just sold out, but it's a folder, also manufactured by Best Tech, with the same look, same ergos, and same overall layout. I'm blessed that I was able to grab the fixed blade on the secondary on NAF sale. It's got probably the best Kydex sheath of any that I've ever used, not just in my small EDC, but in any. You've got a drip clip here, or a drip hole here. You've got a drip hole at the bottom. And if I push my thumb on this, it literally jettisons the sheath. So retention is not an issue. I keep this ulti clipped in my back pocket, locked down on my seam. I push down on it. It doesn't come out of my pocket. I've got a knife in my hand. It deploys very easily, very minimalistic, and I think it's just a fantastic package. It also has a lanyard hole if you're kind of inclined to carry it with a lanyard. But that is the Griffin Company, aka Combat Beads Scout 2.5. So moving on, we come to another new knife in my collection that came in just last week or early this week. But I can tell you without a doubt, this is an EDC powerhouse. This is the T.Denny, Tyler Denny, the Accomplice. And the Accomplice is a handmade, little thin, I mean thin, little piece of MagnaCut with these beautiful handles. You can get these scales in carbon fiber. He's got them on his site in G10. These happen to be what's called vintage caramel micarta. And if you look at them, they do look like pieces of caramel on top of that acid etched MagnaCut. Guys, this knife is so slicey. It is not a hard use knife. It is a splinter remover. It cuts without making any noise. One of the things T.Denny Knives, Custom Knives does is all of these little knives are heat treated by Peter's Heat Treat at 6465, the MagnaCut. And if you're talking about a Slurpee saver, you've got the spoon up front to give you a lot of purchase on that knife, depending on the type of slices or cuts you want to make. I don't know if you can see that little hole in my knuckle, but that was an accidental little poke from the T.Denny Accomplice. And I mean, I just look at that knife, guys, and my mouth drops open. It is so neutral in the handle. It is so small and it is so light that you don't even know you're holding it. It has got the thinnest and sweetest tall flat cutting geometry on this super perfectly heated heat treated MagnaCut. It's ground 100% even, has a great little sheath that retains the knife very well. I can use the ulti clip to hook it in my back pocket or in my left pocket, and it deploys with ease. It doesn't eject the sheath, but you don't want to shoot your sheath across the room. You just want to be able to have a place to put your finger and easily get the knife out. And that is the Accomplice. I'll have links to all of these or where they're available. These are still available. I would say run, don't walk, and check these out, even if you're not interested. Number 2 and number 1 were tough. and there really is no number two or number one. These are three of not just the favorite EDC knives in my collection. These are three of my favorite knives in my collection, and I've got some banger folders. But at number two, only because it's small, but I carry it all the time. I carry it around my neck, and I'm not a neck knife guy. This is a Jason Grant Mini JKal. So the JKal, I actually have two other ones. This is my third JKal. The first two are still in need of going to see Lancelot Leather for a sheath. I want them both to have proper sheaths so I can carry them. I can tell you that my little mean city street cleaver is going to be a favorite once I get it some time around my body, so to speak. And the little Pakal is going to be awesome too. My little chisel grind. So those just need sheaths. That's why they're not on this list. But this one did come with a sheath, this little mini, and it is short, but the handle is a JKal handle, which means I can get a full 4-finger grip on it. I've got this little Slurpee saver of a blade. This ground very, very sharp. Get a piece of paper. I don't want to run out of coupons. But if we look at this knife, it's much thicker blade stock, but don't let that fool you. It's got a lot of bite on that blade. I'm just making little bite cuts. It's great at slashing. It's great at poking, reverse grip, you name it. I mean, it's just a great little knife. And as a neck knife, I love it. It's Ultim, and I want to say it's tool steel. I'm not exactly sure which tool steel. It's got Jason's maker's mark stamped in it, his first early maker's mark. And guys, I just want to tell you that when Jason gets set up in his new house with his new shop and he can get back to really churning these knives out, I think it's going to be amazing to see what he's able to do. Again, Ultim, really beautiful knife, one of my favorites. I'm going to put it as number two, even though, like I said, this knife and the next knife, which is really two different versions of the same knife, are not only my favorite in EDC carry knives, but some of my favorite knives all the way around. I really love an EDC fixed blade, and I've been blessed by some of my connections in the community. Firstly, um, I'll just call them out. Honey Bear hooked me up with a great deal on my first Jakeb Creates Chickadee, and then Lefty EDC made me a really good deal on my second Jakeb Creates Chickadee. So let's just look at these and why they're my number one EDC fixed blades. They are very small, guys. A lot of people would say they're too small. I can assure you, for what I use them for, which is mainly opening packages, cutting twine, cutting string, cutting maybe rope. I wouldn't process cardboard with these guys, but I would definitely open a package with these guys. A lot of things that you could do with these, from even cutting fruit. They're very sharp. They're very capable. I could use it as a little steak knife if I wanted to, but the great thing about these is both of these knives come with, from Jakeb Creates, a great little Kydex sheath. And these little Kydex sheaths have fantastic retention, and they're perfectly set up for an appendix carry. So I've got a sheath for my little flat grind S90V or flat ground S90V. And then I've got this sheath here for the like 3/4 grind, flat grinds. This is full flat. This is probably 3/4, a little bit more than 3/4. This is Magna Cut. This is S90V. But they both come with these little sheaths with a single dangler on them. So I can put that on my belt. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going to know it's there. And when I need it, they both got great finger retention where you just pop the finger and they come out. The other super cool thing about these, besides their utility, is both of the ones that I have a sheath from Oak City Leatherworks. Lefties was a lefty sheath, which is fine with me because when I carry it in my pocket, I carry it in my left pocket, and that just allows me to draw it the right way, um, do a crossbody draw. And this one, same way. When I carry it, it's set up for right hand carry. I carry it in my left hand or my left pocket, and I just draw it across the body. This one's formed up where it's a little bit deeper, but I like it because it's concealed. So when you put it in the pocket, you've only got this sticking out, which is very, very little. This also rides great in my back pocket, but these Oak City leather sheaths are great. I think when I carry them, depending on what I'm wearing, I'm more likely to carry the Kydex because, again, it works so well. But these little Jakeb Creates Chickadees are very well made knives. Jacob Ginsberg, the owner, CEO of Jakeb Creates, is a super, super nice guy. He's very responsive to questions. He's very proud to show off what and how he does it. And guys, he does it from a little garage. He did a tour on Instagram. If you get a chance, check it out, where he walks through and shows his shop. And I was amazed. He had like 3 or 4 power tools, and he's making all this happen. In one of his corners, he's got a little forge. He does it all there. He's got different nitrogen quenches, just really, really cool stuff. And when you look at these knives and get them in your hand, yes, they're a little pricey, but they're worth it. They're handmade in America, and they are my #1 fixed blade EDC knives. Jakeb Creates Chickadees. And then we've got, followed closely behind that, we've got our Jason Grant Mini JKal, which is about the same size. And then we've got our T.Denny Customized Apprentice, which is just a little slicer. It's the thinnest of any of these knives. And then we've got our Griffin Co, aka Combat Beads, Scout 2.5. And finally, our Boker Barlow BFF. Guys, I hope you find the video enjoyable. I appreciate you stopping by. I want to thank all the channel members. Thank you so very, very much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it more than you know. And those of you who are just newer to the channel, I'd love to have you subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. Start coming to live streams, participate in the chat, in the discourse. And guys, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. Know that I'll have a video up in the next couple of days, and this is actually one knife, not two. But I'll have a video up in the next day or so that'll be my top 5 EDC fixed blades that are budget knives, because none of these are what I would consider budget knives, but they're also well within the worth of a good tool, right? We spend a little bit more money for tools that are going to last longer. But guys, I love you all. I appreciate the time. I hope you find this type of content interesting. I think I'll have more fixed blade content coming up. It seems like I'm kind of diving more into that hole as time progresses. Maybe, it's interesting how knife collecting works. How you get smitten with one type of knife, and next thing you know, you're doing something totally different. Right now, I'm really loving my fixies. I'm using them quite a bit. And I just appreciate y'all being here to watch and kind of go through my journey with me. I love y'all. Peace.